Listen, I'm still going through all my gifts. Hey, everybody, I'm just going through the Wedding Extravaganza, which was the event I went to this weekend. Shout out to the vendors. Y'all know how I do. I come out to support. I come out to support women-owned businesses. I come out to support Black-owned businesses. I come out to support all businesses, but with the specialty in those areas, honey, okay? But I want to shout y'all out because I was excited. Y'all, listen. So first of all, if you have not gotten your Black History Month calendar, boom, okay? Just letting y'all know. We're celebrating all year. So if you go to selma60th.com, I'm going to put it in the chat. You can get your own calendar for the year. No, girl, this is my hair. This is that our peruca. Girl, I wear my hair sometimes. I wear it sometimes. Yeah, I don't like to wear my hair. I don't like to wear makeup. Y'all, listen, I be so, not trying to do anything. That's why I have a business, because I really don't want to work. And I know it takes work to run a business, but you can always get somebody else to do that work. I'm just saying. All right, so I'm going to put this right here. Selma60th.com, I think it was. Yeah, so that's where I got this calendar. My dad actually gifted it to me. But I'm going to tell y'all, I was in TC's room earlier. Shout out to TC, one of my partners at AJ CEO Business Coaching Group. And we were talking about leads and generating leads and what that means, right? And I was thinking about, how I went to the extravaganza. I had all these different people coming at me trying to, sell me something, right? Or get me into their marketing funnel. If you can see this bag. So first of all, before I even got into there, they gave me a bag. So boom, okay? We got a bag. And I was like, can I get 2 bags? Because I like to collect information. So if you are a business owner and you are doing something for your personal life activity-wise, I literally just killed 2 birds with 1 stone, right? I went to vendors. I collected information. I saw where they were in their business. I actually had a conversation with one of the young ladies that had a mobile coffee trailer. And, some of the questions I asked her were really digging into her product line. And she said to me, I never thought about doing a his or her coffee bar. And I was like, well, we would love to have a his or her. And she was like, oh man, it'd be great if you guys can be our first. And she was willing to take that suggestion and to do it for us, right? And so it reminded me about, how flexible we are in entrepreneurship. One of the things that I was also seeing was that some vendors that I walked up to, some vendors I didn't walk up to, but a lot of the vendors were not as approachable, right? So I want to talk about that too, because being approachable when it comes down to your marketing, it doesn't matter if you paid to have a booth somewhere. It doesn't matter if you have a store, right? You have to be able to show people you care. Like you care about the fact that they walked in front of you or they walked your way. You have to care. And what I found in some of the booths at the extravaganza, y'all, hey, listen, I don't care if they, know it or not, because the truth is you have to know what people are seeing from the outside looking into your business. And so what I saw was on the first floor, which because I was VIP, I don't know if that was a different area. Everyone on the first floor was engaging. They were kind of not in your face, but they were very hey, come on over. I want to show you something. What are you here for? They asked a lot of questions. They were like, are you here for, are you the person getting married? Is someone else getting married? They asked a lot of qualifying questions and it made me engage with them, right? So when you're marketing, one thing that the Wedding Extravaganza brought up for me, right? Because as a marketing medulla, I always look for these real life marketing experiences, right? We can always read what's on paper, but what's happening in the market right now. And so I noticed that the same strategies do still work, right? Approachability, getting that icebreaker out the way. We talked about this in our some of our coaching sessions over the past 3 years. 5 steps to the conversation. There are 5 steps, essentially. In the beginning, there are 5 steps. And the beginning of those 5 steps to the conversation, it's the same. They all are the same. You always have an introduction with an icebreaker. And when you don't actually introduce yourself to people or approach people, they're not going to come your way. And that's what I saw on the second floor. So the first floor, everyone was like, hey, how you doing? Let me show you this. Are you the bride? Let me get your information. The first floor was very energetic, active. And then on the second floor, it was like there was only the stations that were the most active were the food stations and the DJ stations. But that's because they were enjoying themselves, honestly. They were back there eating their own food. They were cooking. They were flaming. Then you had the DJ and people telling them to get out on the dance floor. So, naturally, you see the vibe there. But I'm going to tell you, when I walked around the second floor, I walked past booths outside of Momo's because Momo, my brand photographer I already have for my wedding, she was there too. It was funny. So I wasn't actually trying to get a new photographer. So I walked past every booth because I was good. But then I saw her on the second floor. Well, I started walking around and everyone's just sitting at their booth and they're looking my way. They are looking at me, but they're still just sitting there or standing there, kind of waiting for me to approach them. And even one lady was having a whole conversation with, I guess, the guy at the next booth. And I walked by and she acted like I didn't walk by, right? So there was a certain dynamic there that I wanted to talk about, because when we show up for our businesses, like I did at the Wedding Extravaganza, I was a consumer. I was looking for opportunity. I was looking for suggestions. I was like, that's a targeted audience. So when you are vending at certain places and you, like, say you cater to the bride and the groom, you want to actually be a vendor at wedding extravaganzas or exhibits, wedding exhibits, or anything wedding, right? You want to be connected to organizations that need your services, right? And venues. So that's what I saw. I saw a lot of partnerships there. I saw a lot of venues. Like it was a venue itself, but then there were other vendors that had venues that came in. And I don't know if it was like a price thing or whatever, but I'm telling you, the second floor was not as active. It was not as energized. It was not as like approachable. And there were way more offers and giveaways on the first floor, right? So, and this was just my experience, and I'm recapping my experience because I'm not only a consumer, but I own a business. I have been an entrepreneur for many, many years, and I'm also a market researcher. So I'm looking at the market and I'm seeing like, well, what is actually happening with the consumer relationship to the businesses? And a lot of the consumers they still want to be sold to. They still want to be sold to. When I walked on the second floor, I said, this must be the floor where maybe it's a downgraded level of vendor booths or something like that, because they were not as active. Now, this is not all the booths. There were lots of booths on the second floor, like the gentleman that had the engraved, it's like this piece, and let me pull these things out because I pulled their cards from the event. And if y'all see this, look, this bag is like full of stuff, okay? So I get to show you some of the information I collected. Look, it's the first card that came out, okay? So if you look at this is a frame, right, where people can come into your wedding and they can actually drop their name in there or a special note, right? And it's handmade here in Georgia. The gentleman, the guy that creates these, he had them all displayed very nicely for us to see. He was already talking to a couple people at his booth when we walked up, but then as soon as he saw us, he immediately came from behind the other way and just approached us, started telling us about it. He didn't wait for us to ask, like, what do you have, right? He was just like, oh, what you're looking at here is. So, I think there's a level of assertion too, because when we're doing anything from live videos like what I'm doing here, to, in-person events and things like that, if we are intentional about what we're doing, right, then, and we know we're in front of a target audience, that's key, then you should be able to approach people with care, right? Approach them to show them that you really want them to receive what you have. And that's somewhat is the difference. I did take some really nice goodies from people because I felt like, it would be great to have it as a backup, but I'm only highlighting the businesses that I felt like really stood out for me at this wedding extravaganza. And maybe you guys can listen to some of the things that I pulled out that maybe you can relate to with your brand, because if you're doing vending, if you're showing up in different aspects of your business, excuse me, and you want to see what people are doing well, I want to talk about that today. So this right here is another one. Now I'm gonna say a lot of these things at the wedding extravaganza I did not know I needed until I saw it. So that's another thing. If you are a business that sells something unique, maybe it's not common, right? You still want to put it out there with care. This guy, Roy Harron, he actually plays the cello. And he plays the cello with the orchestra. He's local, right? Very popular guy for his community. And he just had this. It's glossy flyer, right? He had this. And it tells me what the prices are. And it's, Ron Harron Shellis. And I thought that was so cool because while he was playing, right, he was actually demonstrating his music. He wasn't standing at a booth. He wasn't talking about the music. He was demonstrating the music. That level of care to me it speaks volumes, because it's the same as when people bring their physical products for you to try, right? That's the second part of I believe the second part. Yeah, second or third, but it's in the 5 steps to the conversation that we teach, right? And so basically you have the product in hand, and there were some booths that did not have product in hand. They may have had some flyers, which is product in hand. So you can give someone a flyer. Product in hand means that they take ownership. So a lot of times when people actually can feel what you're offering, they can because these are all sensories, right, that I was experiencing. I was listening to his music as I was walking in. And that's the first thing that got me, like, where is this music coming from? Mind you, okay? So if you have, say you have a store, say you have, you're doing a booth somewhere in a market, music, sound, y'all listen. This was powerful. So when I heard the music, I said, wow, like, I got to see what this is. I saw the cellist. Then I listened to him for a while. I saw how he played. It was his demonstration of the way he played. So he dressed the part. He looked the part. He played the part. He was giving the same energy as he would at a wedding. And that's what it takes. A lot of us really don't give 100% in the beginning because we feel like we're saving the energy for later somehow. But when you are introducing yourself and your brand to someone, first impressions are lasting. So he did that while another lady that was next to him, I don't know if it was his wife or his friend or whoever, but she gave me the flyer, and then she told me about him. So while he was demonstrating what he would be doing at our wedding, he had someone supporting him to actually say, this is what you will get. Now, I thought that was really important because sometimes when we're doing business, we do it all by ourselves. We feel like we don't need people. We feel like, oh, we got it, or we don't trust people. But the truth is that we always need people. I have several different staff members and contractors that I use in different levels of my business. I have interns that I use in my internship program that work on different facets of the business. And wherever we need help, we use them as well when they get that training and that development. So, learn from this because I go to a lot of events, but this one was a personal, walkthrough for me and my fiance to just kind of see what Atlanta had to offer when it came to weddings and designs. And also, if you are in Atlanta and you are dealing with weddings and you weren't at the event, then unfortunately we just didn't see you, right? We didn't, oh, hey, fiance, hey, husband. Husband is on the line, honey. Baby, I'm just showing them everything that happened this weekend and how it relates to, the marketing and just really being able to attract your audience, right? I had a real funny, conversation earlier in the room with TC where we were talking about how people get their leads. And we were saying that you have everybody that was a vendor at that event, they knew that they were with the right audience, right? Because we were either thinking about getting married or knew somebody that was getting married, right? So I told them in the room that, that's one thing we need to think about. Like, how are we positioning ourselves? Are we just showing up on social media, just talking about stuff? Or are we actually getting in position where we're at events that people like myself and my fiance, right? Where we went and we're like, babe, tell them how you felt when you walked in the door. Honey was videotaping. We had the I do sticker. We got the planner, right? And he opened it up before I did. They gave us a whole box that has a planner in it. And sometimes you don't realize what you need. And so even us as business owners, when we are providing services for people, like this is a service that they provided. The first thing that happened when we walked, right? Wasn't it nice? The first thing that happened when we walked in, first of all, they were very inviting. They were very welcoming. They gave us all instructions, and they had a lot of promotions. They had promotions for the vendors. They had QR codes. They gave us instruction like, hey, VIP to the left, these people to the right. We actually, when we got to the part where they gave us our bags, that's when they gave us our planner. And, I love the, first of all, packaging, okay? So, I love the fact that, they're actually providing, and if you're getting married too, like, shout out to you, honey, because one thing that I realized throughout this journey, and I said this on my Amazon Live earlier, is that, a lot of people were saying, oh, that's not traditional. You shouldn't do it like this. You need to have your friends with you. Your husband shouldn't be with you. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, my husband is my best friend. Like, what y'all talking about? Like, he gonna be there. He gonna be everywhere. But I mean, I do understand that, if it's a reason that he doesn't have to be there, I get that. But just for tradition, I kind of wasn't feeling that. And so I really am kind of going through this journey, asking lots and lots of questions, right? I asked the bridal gown and I'm going to show you where I scheduled my consultation for my dress fitting. And they were like, if you schedule a consultation with us, we'll give you a free dress. I'm like, that's too good to be true, but I'm going to put my name down. I'm going to put my name down though. So I did, and she collected my information and got my, she has me as a lead. I could possibly buy a dress from her, right? She also said she would customize it. So, shout out to that. But you have to be very intentional, y'all. I'm looking for this stuff. Oh, look, baby. The I-dos. Aww. Y'all gotta watch the video reel of us walking through the venue. Because I thought that was really cute when they gave us the I'm getting married sticker. But anyway, let me get back to it. So I was basically talking about the vendors that I really, really liked. I was trying to find the wedding vendor that we received. And y'all, listen, I'm doing, is this it? I think this is it. Yeah. I don't know, child. Maybe it's not it. Okay. So basically, we have a whole bunch of goodies, but these businesses that I want to highlight, I showed y'all that Unforgettable Frames. Now this one right here, this is like for your body. It's 29.30. Okay, this is sugar scrub. Okay. And I'm gonna tell y'all about 29.30, and this is why I want to tell y'all, because that's where we're getting the customized fragrances and the customized shea butter. I had no idea, and we saw so many things, and it's the reason why it was so impressive was because they brought the whole shebang. Like, they didn't just bring a table and talk about it; they brought the actual setup. So showing up like you care means that you gotta bring everything. Like, sometimes you can't, and that to me too, like, it's speaking to me as well, because sometimes I get a little lazy. I don't want to bring everything, all I want to do is just get them to know me. No, bring it all. Bring the whole thing. Show up as if, it was the sale, right? Let people know that you care that much about them and their business. Now, don't put yourself out of pocket doing something like that. But I mean, if you can, bring everything that you can to show people how much you care. When 29.30, when I walked up to their booth, okay, so this is how they had it set it up. They had the one young lady who was the party planner, who was the wedding planner. Then they had the lady in the side. She was talking about the fragrances, and then they had the other young lady that was talking about shea butters. That everything laid out, so we were able to try everything. And the shea butters were absolutely amazing. I was like, oh my God, where did this come from, right? Smelled delicious. And it's a science behind it that they use. So it's not just about regular shea butter, y'all. Like, they're actually taking the carts and they're bringing it to the wedding, and they're doing it as an activity for the wedding guests. Y'all, drop a 1 if y'all think I should do that. Drop a 2 if you think no. I'm just asking. Because if I bring a fragrance cart to the wedding, I don't know if people are going to want to make fragrances, but I think it's really cool, you know? So I told them, I said, we're going to start with making our own signature fragrance for the wedding guests. And we're thinking about bringing the fragrance cart so that our wedding guests can make their own fragrances as well. So I don't know, y'all. We're thinking about it. We'll see. But that was the one cart in the center, and the wedding planner, she's the one that we approached first because she was standing tall. She was looking directly in my face, and she wasn't like, hey, or anything like that. None of that. She was just very attentive, right? So that goes to your tone and demeanor of who you are. That's why we say be authentically who you are as a brand, because you don't have to be the other person. Like, I'm the type of person where I will come up and I'll say, hey, how you doing? What's up? You know, I'm very assertive and confident. Like, that's just my makeup, right? That's what I've learned along the way. But there are people that are not as confident, that don't have the same skill set. And you have to give yourself your own grace to say, that's not me. And I don't have to be that. I can be me. So let me practice on just that and just start building on it. So I love the fact that her demeanor was so direct. And when I walked up, she actually drew me in a little bit just by standing there looking at me, because it made me feel like, are you looking at me? Like, it's like, I think she's looking at me. I don't know. Not in a weird way, but it was just like, okay. So I did walk up to the area, right? And I'm like, what is this? And so she starts explaining it to me. I'm the wedding planner. I can do boom, boom, boom. And then she led me from her. She just kind of turned me a little bit and said, and these are the people I work with. You can get the fragrance carts for your wedding, and you get the shea butter for your wedding. I was like, oh, okay. I'm going over there now, right? It was a team effort. It was an opportunity to show that, you know, this is really something we do. And if you need this, we can do it for you too. It was so simple and just flowy. So I had a great experience with them. Shout out to 2930 for just being phenomenal. And, you know, the plus side about it is that, you know, when I walked up to them, like, it was a young girl too, doing the shea butters. And I was just like, where did I miss this? Right? Like, you know, when you find something really, really good and you're just like, where did I miss this? Also, I want to say this too, because we had a full strategy written out from ChatGPT. I took my strategy with me and everything. I knew what I was looking for in a sense, but there were places that I went and the information they gave me, y'all. And this is why it's good to do your research, but it's better to get, you know, to actually implement and start collecting information from different sources, right? So I did my research on ChatGPT, but then I brought the actual form to the wedding venue in my phone, right? So I'm like looking at my phone, looking at what I need to look at and find. And then I ran across the invitations. And so the way that they explained it to me was really different than what I understood. And so, y'all, listen, there's some things I had to change even there. And that kind of leads me into, you know, why people need so much for us to share educational content, educational information that is going to allow people to see more into what you do. Because the truth is that I came with my own mindset around what I wanted and what I thought it was. When I spoke to the invitation specialist, I call her, right? First of all, you know, I had to mention Women into Networking Win. So that was the first thing. I was like, oh yeah, well, you know, we have lots of room for women like you. And the girl was like, give me your card. So even though I was there giving my information, I was also collecting information, right? So that was the great thing. And then on top of that, like, just having those conversations with those two ladies that were talking about what they did with invitations, how effective they are. They had a whole invitation like thing set up where they displayed all of their work. So they had invitations that they, I guess they, you know, could design for you that was already like printed as templated. And then they also had invitations of people that were getting married, and they put those at the top. And I just thought it was so cool, because sometimes we have to, you know, give people so much to see. And if we're not willing to be more of that for people, then that's going to stop you from being able to make that sale. It's going to stop you from connecting. I mean, like, I can't tell you how many clients I work with, literally right there in like the third section of that marketing funnel, they're like, people just get stuck and they pile up there. And you know, I love what TC said when she was like, you got to move people. Like, they have to have movement in your business, movement in your strategy, in your marketing. Have to have movement. And it's so true. So I'm really excited, y'all, because, you know, there are so many things that I learned even from doing this walkthrough. I'm going to be connecting with a lot of these vendors because guess what? As a business coach, of course, I was looking at how they were approaching me. Of course, I was looking at all of the things that they had going on in their product lines. And of course, because there might have been a golden egg there. There might have been someone that, you know, knew what they were doing, but needed real guidance, right? Like, there might have been someone who was, and it was a lot of women because, you know, Wedding Extravaganza, and I work with a lot of women entrepreneurs. So while you are even getting the results for yourself in your personal life, as to my example, you could be also impacting your business life, your professional life, right? It doesn't have to be a one-way street. Yes, baby. The ring, baby. I love my hubby. So it's just one of those things that, you know, we have to be very focused around how we show up. I said it in the room with TC, show up like you actually care. Don't show up in your business like you're just doing it for the money. Trying to make sure my phone don't die on y'all. Don't show up in a business like you're just doing it for the money. Please stop doing that. Because people can tell. People can tell when you're not being genuine. People can tell when, you know, you're trying to get over on them. People can tell, you know, and as much as we're going, sorry, y'all, I'm trying to clip it back in. As much as we're going through in the world, we have to be very intentional, right? Very, very, very intentional. And some of that is, let me get this fixed up. Hold on. Some of that is wrapped around how we feel about ourselves, right? And that's one thing. This thing is not going to stay. That's one thing that I want us to kind of leave with and kind of focus on, okay? So this is what I'll leave y'all with because I got to go back and edit some of my videos. I'll leave y'all with this, okay? Be intentional about who you are. Be very intentional about who you are. Like, people will tell you what they think about you. People will, you know, try and belittle you because they're having a bad day. People will get it wrong, right? They will have good hearts and want to believe that you're one thing, but they may have it wrong. But I believe that you are who you are, and you know that, right? I remember having a silent knowing all throughout my youth where I was like, something about me that I know is bigger than what people are saying. Something about me that I know I haven't even discovered yet. And the same goes for you. There's things about you that you have not even discovered yet. And so, you know, be very intentional about yourself and identify with that. That may take time. That may take you actually, you know, showing up for yourself every day. Like I did in the pandemic. Y'all watch my videos from back then. My videos were crap. Like, I don't even know what I was doing half the time, but I showed up. And I showed up, and you can tell I was doing it because I actually cared about what I was doing. It just wasn't all that pretty, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the pretty pictures and, you know, and I still don't do the pretty pictures. I do the authenticity. I do the who am I and how I can serve, right? And you can be very, you can flourish that way yourself. You do not have to be stuck in a world of, you know, just images. Like, people are really stuck in worlds where everything is about how things look. And I want to encourage you, in order to care about other people, you got to care about yourself first. And it's not always about how you look. It's about how you feel. It's about, are you giving yourself the things that you promised yourself? Are you completing your goals? Or are you actually going in rotations and you're allowing yourself to continue to slide and what we call failure, but not necessarily failure, because you should be learning from it. You should be learning from it, but sometimes we just get stuck. And so I want to encourage y'all that, you know, that is a reflection of your business. It's not because your business isn't great. Every business is great. Every business is great, but every business owner is not great at running it. So I'll leave y'all with that, and I hope you guys have some self-reflection. I'm really excited about my wedding. I'm getting married, y'all. So thank you, hubby. I appreciate you so much. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I really am excited about what's to come. Y'all, please follow us on our channel, Chuck.Allegra, because we're going to be giving you guys some more content as well, because we are content creators. We are unified. We are in union. So what I am, he is too. And what he is, I am too. Y'all can't get one without the other now. So, hey, there it is. All right, I will see y'all later. Have an amazing day. Bye.